You're listening to the AFTERBUZZ TV network, now the largest new media platform on the web, and your #1 source for after-show entertainment.
Very good, Dean Johnson.
From the AFTERBUZZ Studios in Los Angeles, California, presented by Maria Menounos and Bing.com, and streaming live thanks to Akamai Technologies, this is AFTERBUZZ TV's Twisted After Show. We'll break down tonight's episode and get you all the latest news and gossip. And now, another post-game wrap-up show for your favorite TV show. It's AFTERBUZZ TV's Twisted After Show.
Hello everybody, Bing is for doing, and we're here doing another after show for ABC Family's new show Twisted, Season 1, Episode 3, PSA de Resistance.
Indeed.
Indeed, I'm Jason Ikeler, and joining me tonight I've got...
I'm Heather Joy.
I'm Lina Green.
And I'm Stephen Lemieux.
Woo! Let's get into this, guys. What were your initial thoughts on the episode? We're kind of like into the season now, and we don't know who we can trust and who we can't trust.
Best episode so far.
Really?
Yeah.
They put a lot into this episode.
I think it made me like it that much more when they didn't have a really weird ending. Like
Yeah,
outro
kind of
And it didn't go like
no into the
But
eye.
there's kind of a cliffhanger with Archie at the end.
That's what I was just going to
But
say.
I feel like this
drama.
episode is going to set up a bunch for the future, as opposed to the other ones that were just like, this person's dead, and this person used to kill somebody.
Oh no, we're saying that everybody's killing everybody.
Yeah.
We're like becoming the worst investigators ever.
I know, because we literally think everybody's guilty at one point or another.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but this episode was more like, instead of thinking who's gonna kill who, it's like, I really want her to die. I really want him to die.
That's our prediction.
Can we just? Hey, Yvonne, I don't know if you killed him or not, but can you
kill her?
Can you kill her?
So we kind of see
Serena.
Joe go through this whole transformation now too, and she's trying to break out of her shell. And this starts when her and Rico are at the diner, and Danny comes in, and he's like, "Do you guys do anything else besides just go to the diner?"
He
and they're like, "No."
He basically calls them out and like, hey guys, y'all are losers.
Yeah, and they're like, "We're smart, but we really have no friends."
Yeah, they have like the highest Joe and Rico have the highest GPA in high school because all they do is go to the diner after school and study.
There's
Poor
nothing
thing.
wrong.
So
Yeah,
sad.
there's nothing wrong with being nerds though.
At least they
Yeah.
have each other.
So they developed this idea. They want to pull. Danny wants to pull Lacey into the group. Like their goal for the episode was, hey, let's get Lacey back. With
Yeah,
us.
or at least I think Danny wants forgiveness for Lacey too,
Well,
more
yeah.
than anything. But I don't know. I think obviously I don't think that's going to be resolved right away. I think that's going to be an ongoing struggle this season.
Yeah, I think a lot of trust has to be. He really hasn't shown them that they could trust him. He's still keeping secrets. So until that is unfolded, there's not going to be really any forgiveness.
Yeah. So back to Joe though. So Joe's doing all these things to kind of like break out of her shell. So she decides she's going to walk to school. And then
Whoa!
switching it up. She walks to school.
Slow down, crazy.
And then she's late for chemistry class.
Uh-oh.
And who's this girl that freaks out in class?
Gina.
Jana freaks
Jana
out because
freaks out.
Scott is not
Dude, she's
getting
straight
it in
up.
anymore.
So Scott totally dissed her after their little fling one night.
One night
She
fling.
is not happy.
I don't even think they did anything.
I don't
though.
think
Like,
so.
I think they did.
I think they did something, but
That's why she's pissed.
yeah, no girl.
She
would
thinks
not
it
be-
was going to be more than just one night.
And it's not. So she cannot be lab partners with him anymore. So she's like, goes to the teacher and kind of calls Scott out in front of the whole class and basically wants to switch lab groups. So Joe thinks this is her opportunity to
Let's
break
get
out of her
Rico.
mold. I'm gonna lose my best friend and switch lab groups.
I'm gonna ditch my best friend for Sarita
and Scott.
And Scott.
and Scott. I'm really bonding with them.
Sounds like
yeah.
a great idea.
And I
yeah.
felt bad for Rico this whole episode because if she really wants to break out of her shell, can't she bring Rico with her?
He was kind of resistant to the whole idea, though. So really,
But like, if you're gonna break out of your shell, like, why would you ditch your best friend in chemistry?
True.
I mean, she's
you know,
she's
Like maybe drink in chemistry class or something. If you're gonna get crazy. Did you guys ever do that?
No.
I did that. I did that in college, not in high school. Don't worry.
Oh, okay, okay. Thank you for clarifying the age
Yeah.
of
Okay.
when you were drinking. I don't know. I mean, her doing this though really kind of pulls Rico's feelings out, as we can kind of see. Because like from the beginning, you were like, I don't think Rico likes her or anything.
See, I've always thought he kind of has.
I always did
the
too.
hots for
Did
her,
you?
But
I kind of saw Joe kind of pulling toward more of Danny.
that's what I think. But I think
was a
Rico's
little
going to
bit.
be. Obviously, he was a little jealous this episode too. But I think that's going to play out too. That he right now is trying to help Danny, but maybe eventually he's not going to want to because he sees that Joe's going toward him.
I see that the jealousy.
So he might like hold some evidence back or something.
So maybe he's only helping Joe and Danny because he wants to get with
Closer.
Joe. Yeah, and closer to
Exactly.
Joe. Not necessarily Danny.
These shows are hard because you literally, like we said, you blame. You're like, this person's gonna do this and this person's gonna know this because you have no idea.
What did you
Who
think?
done it?
What did you think of that scene though in Chemistry where he gives the signal to Joe to talk, and he walks up to the pencil sharpener and he's just like this, but like not
It's
even.
like the invisible
He's the
pencil.
comedic relief. I love it.
Like-
Well, and he's like so frustrated though that he doesn't even realize he's not sharpening his pencil.
he didn't care,
No,
basically.
he didn't care.
It was like-
She even was like, aren't you going to put it in? He's like, no.
No, he wasn't even turning the handle. It's like a foot away from it. It's like, what are you fishing? What are you doing?
Well,
dude?
and then who's that girl? I don't remember any of because the girl that we want to die,
Oh,
Sarita.
Sarita.
Remember her
we
name,
want that
Sarita.
to be Danny's next victim, but then she calls.
What do you mean next victim? You think
I
that he
didn't
killed
say
Regina
that.
then?
He killed his
Whoever
aunt,
killed Regina should kill
Oh.
Sarita.
but she calls her a mole person,
She
That
does.
was, you know what?
and I'm like, you just left your best friend for this. Serves you right. You are a mole person.
You go stick
Yeah,
it to him.
I'm on Team Rico.
I'm on team Danny. We all have to get teams,
Yeah.
guys.
Ooh.
Ooh.
So this is
I'll be on
Anyone-
Team Lacey then.
Okay.
Steven, Team
Steven.
Karen.
Team Karen.
No.
Touche, Jason.
Good one.
Touche. So after this doesn't work, well, actually, we're still talking about just Joe and.
Yeah, so her next way to step out, which we'll kind of get into when we talk about Danny and Lacey too, but she decides she's going to join Sobriety Awareness Day and help out.
What?
Because Sarita tells her, like, oh, we have this skit and it's horrible, and Joe's like, oh, I just wrote the paper, which I think was the smart thing to do if you didn't want to do the play, to just write a paper and times put in.
Pretty much,
But-
yeah.
Oh.
Now she feels pressure, which if somebody's making fun of you, you don't want to join a play to be with them.
Well, if that's
Maybe
in
you
your
do.
plan to step out and be more out there. Well, she started doing that with the drinking. Remember, she was like,
Yeah.
I'll start being crazy. So that was kind of the first step towards that. Her.
But do you think this is a ploy for her to really, because she was saying to Rico that she's trying to step out to help Danny. I don't think it's necessarily to help Danny. I think it's to date Danny.
No, I think it's to help herself as well, Danny and herself, to, you know, to bring some liveliness to her high school years. I
Which
guess.
she should be doing, but I don't think
Well-
the intentions she's saying that she has are necessarily accurate.
She didn't really care about any of the social aspect of high school until Danny mentioned
Exactly.
something to her, saying that she needed to get out of her little area and of the, what is it? Where do they go? Their little cafe.
The diner.
The diner.
The diner.
Yes.
Green Grove Cafe.
Yes.
There's a few role reversals that we're seeing in the season already in the 3 episodes that we've watched. One is Lacey and Joe, and that Joe is like the so enclosed person, and now Danny affecting them has pushed her more into the limelight, which is forcing her to be more outgoing. Which with Lacey was always the one who was just the mean girl. She's never had to defend herself really, except for now. She's going in, she's telling lies, she's having to keep secrets, and it's closing herself off a little bit more and kind of changing their roles.
Well, and I think, like you were saying, Danny does have this effect on Joe where she'll do things just like she never drank before, and then the first episode, Danny shows up and she gets wasted. So obviously, he has this effect on her that he can get her to do anything.
Well, do you think it's like her life stopped when he went to juvie and then it's continuing again now?
I don't think it stopped. I think it pushed her to the place where she was, where this horrible thing happened. She didn't want to be associated with it, so she's going to be the smart girl that gets all A's.
I kind of
And
think,
that's kind of the role she took.
I kind of think Danny's manipulative in a lot of ways, and he's kind of manipulating Joe. He can't really get over on Lacey, and even he says something about, like, Lacey used to be the one who, you know, was more
Yeah.
effective. Now she's the one I can't even get through to, so I don't know.
Well, and it's almost not fair to Joe because if he can't see that she has a thing for him, I think he knows, but he's using Joe to get to Lacey.
Do you
almost.
think Joe has a thing
Oh,
for
for sure,
Danny?
for
I
sure.
don't see that.
I see
I
it a
don't
little bit.
see
See it?
No, really?
Yeah, I do.
I don't see it.
I don't
Why
see
do you
that.
think it?
Well, just because she does everything, like you said,
Yeah.
that he says to do, the drinking thing, the stepping out of her boundaries. I think she wouldn't have done any of this if it wasn't for Danny.
I think it's more that she's against her parents. I honestly think it's more her versus her parents breaking out, lashing out as a high school girl. Because, I mean, her dad's a cop. Like, how much more restrictive can you really be when you have that? So I really don't think it's so much that she cares about Danny. Well, she does care about Danny. Yeah. But feelings, like emotional feelings of love, like romantic feelings, I don't think it's so much that as she's just trying to do something that she wants to stand up for. Because she hasn't had anything to really stand up for.
I think,
yeah.
But she also hasn't really had a bang piece either.
Oh my gosh.
So-
Why would you have to take it there?
No, but for real, have you seen him? You can take it there.
No, but I think
It
Danny...
took me a second to even know what you meant by
I-
that.
yeah.
It's short
I'm the
content.
only one who got you on that. We always get our sex
I know.
praises. I think Danny's given her some courage. For once in her life, she's standing up for what she believes. She stood up from him in front of all the whole auditorium.
But I don't think she'd be this motivated if there wasn't some other driving factor. Because she's kind of like changing all the person that she is just for him.
Maybe her life's getting a little twisted.
Oh,
Gonna kill you.
oh, God. So let's talk about Danny and Lacey.
Let's talk about Danny and
Let's
Lacey.
talk about
Did
it.
I not like shriek when they got that
Yes.
close? I shrieked.
It
They
was a
almost
close
kissed
one.
tonight.
I wanted it so bad.
So this should kind of be Danny, Lacey, and Archie.
Yeah.
Because Danny is getting a little bit closer to Archie too.
Yes.
Well, he's trying to, and then Archie's just kind of this douche that won't. I don't know. Obviously, we
changed
know
a
at the
bit.
end Archie has, I think, something to do with Regina's death, and that's why he's pinpointing it on Danny so much.
It's too obvious, though. It's too obvious. I think.
What are you
But I
talking
don't
about?
think it's
I
obvious.
know, but they're making it too obvious. Like Archie was driving a car. Why
Oh,
was he hiding?
That's too obvious. Yes, that is
No,
too
but I don't
obvious.
think that was because I didn't think Archie was the suspect until tonight.
You know, I'm not gonna buy it. I'm a good detective.
No, yeah.
and I'm gonna be the good detective.
I agree
I'm
with
so
you.
gullible. Like, it was Archie.
Yeah, he did it. He did it.
I agree with you, Lena, because it is too obvious. But I thought you meant it was obvious before they did this whole thing. with
No,
the-
it wasn't.
Okay, yeah.
No, it's
Because
too
before
obvious.
that, I'm
You're
like,
you're a really
I would
good
never
detective.
have.
Dang.
Don't patronize me. I'm gonna figure this out before
You are.
everybody.
Figured
So
it
yeah,
out.
it starts out. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, but tonight we kind of got more clues that it could have been Archie who killed Regina. But why? What is his motive for that? I mean, maybe it'll come out
Maybe
next
he
episode. or
cheated
something.
on Lacey with.
I know they probably
They did
get
something.
it.
Probably.
Yeah.
Okay,
They probably did.
the only problem I have with Archie actually being the culprit and framing Danny is that he's not that intelligent.
No, you know
No,
what?
but I gotta say, let me finish the thought. Okay, they've done so much that makes like sometimes he looks really intelligent, and then sometimes they highlight him looking like an idiot.
But he's got to look like the jock. You know what I mean? They've got to play that up to make him stupid. But I think just like what he said to Danny at the end of the episode, like you're never gonna fit in. Like he's got some intelligent thoughts going through
I
his
see
head.
it.
You
I
know?
like his character. I was like, I'm liking this guy. He has a lot going on more than the whole macho jock. I like that he just didn't grab Danny, try to fight again. He was like, okay, I'm gonna step back. I will be cool and stuff. I like that. I think there's.
But
some
how's he gonna
smarts.
react with Danny on the same team as him?
I think they're gonna
Ooh.
end up being friends. I think Archie and
That's
Danny
gonna be
end up-
interesting.
Maybe more than friends?
Oh, I would love that. Anybody else? Just me? Okay, good.
I don't know.
don't
He's
see
trying to
that
break him and
coming.
Lacey
So
up.
But
Lacey
anyway.
and Archie are both worried about talking to the chief, and Archie's kind of like, "Oh, I told them my story. It only took 5 minutes." So Lacey goes in, and this is when she finds out that somebody told the chief that she spent the night at Danny's house, and she immediately blames Joe. And the chief's kind of like, "Hold up,
No, it wasn't
That
Joe.
wasn't
Like
Joe-
straight
like,
up, like it wasn't Joe.
Joe knew." So that kind of threw Joe under the bus. Lacey threw Joe under the bus, thinking that Joe threw her under the bus. So then she blames it on Danny, but we all know from last week it was Karen who
Yeah.
actually did it.
Kyle Masterson won't tell her that. It's like it wasn't Joe, but I won't tell you my sources.
You really
Yeah, and that's-
You've
this is what
already
I don't
told me
get
who
about
it's
him.
not. Can you just tell me who else
He
it
has
isn't?
like ethics when he wants to have them. You know what I mean? Like
he's done some corrupt things, but
he did it again in this episode when he shows up at the house. Can I just do the picture? You can't just do that. You need a warrant.
hey, how you doing with that smile?
Yeah.
Can I see?
It's so good to see you, Karen. Your house looks so nice.
Picture.
By the way, I think your son was hiding evidence. Can you just show me that evidence? You just show me that evidence.
Yeah.
Come on, we're friends.
That's gonna work.
But no, we throw in your Sherlock Holmes hat. We get a few little tidbits of information here with Lacey and Kyle. Regina got the necklace last spring, and Lacey was asleep from midnight to 6 a.m. and she got home at 6:20 precisely.
She looked at the clock.
Before we move on, let's talk about that report.
Yes.
Oh.
Let's talk about the report.
How we freezed on the report.
Have we seen the report yet? At this point, have we seen the
No.
report?
Yeah, well,
Have we?
she brings it in at that point after Lacey
Oh, that was
leaves.
after Lacey
Was that
leaves.
after
Paul,
Lacey leaves?
Palmer brings it in. Palmer is the female deputy.
Detective, deputy, police woman.
What did
That's her official name.
So, okay, so this report, I gotta flip
Steven
pages.
froze the screen
I froze
on
the
the
screen.
report.
Yeah, they
Held us up from watching the episode.
He's an
So he
investigator.
can write down all the details, but now he's going
Okay.
to tell them to you.
I'm gonna tell you these details because when they show a report, and it is the criminal file for the woman who died that
I
this
just
whole
want to say,
show
before
is
you say
based
this,
on.
Steven watches ABC Family shows like a real guy. Like, he's like, who did what? And these are the facts. And we're like, oh, he should date her. And they would be really
And
cute
we're like,
together.
look at his hair. Look at that earring
Guys,
in his hair.
I host Graceland, so I mean, come on, like, what do you expect from me? So we get some new names. The new names are Crystal and Adam Torvinen. Crystal's 28 and Adam is 19. They're the witnesses for Tara's murder. Who are these people? Find out on this season of Twisted.
Wait a minute. How was she murdered in the report? How
Okay.
did
Raised.
So
This is interesting, though.
okay, so the spelling mistakes on this report were almost some of the funniest things I've seen.
Do you think that was intentional?
I think it was. Yeah.
No, I don't think it was.
I think it was because I think they would have had a fact checker.
It's a
I
small-
don't think anybody's gonna freeze
No,
on the report.
I think an intern just did it in 5 minutes and then
Honest-
they put it on.
For a show like this, they would know somebody would freeze. They would know at least somebody
it was
would.
quick.
Doesn't matter. It's information.
Because I think for some movies they just like doodle, doodle, doodle. And I think that they actually made it that detailed. I think this is going to play into the story that like that whoever did all this was not detail oriented. You know what I mean?
Well, like it's a small town police county. I think they're just showing the ineptitude of some of the cops there, or how,
Ineptitude.
or,
Such a detective.
I know.
or even
Damn.
Wow.
even how lackadaisical they are with the reports for these things that
Throwing
they're
out
trying
big
to.
words.
Can you talk?
I know. This is
For
ABC
layman's
Family,
terms,
Steven. We don't
please.
understand any of this.
I'm not trying to confuse you, Archie. Anyway, let me finish this out.
Lackadaisical.
Okay, so
I'll take it.
just shush. Shush.
Okay.
Shush.
Okay.
All right, so the body was found 20 feet from the main entrance facing south. The contents, they misspelled contents. The contents of the purse were strewn adjacent to the body, and the body was braised. They misspelled bruised. It was bruised, badly beaten, blunt force trauma, and out of the things that were collected were the wallet, the necklace, the purse, like everything that was around the body. Okay, so this is the first thing that I got to throw out to you guys. I got two little suggestive things that you're going to be like, wait a second. All right. So Danny killed his aunt. Everyone knows this, correct?
Correct.
Everyone knows he killed his aunt. So the contents of the purse,
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
the contents of the purse were strewn next to the body. Why was her purse emptied if Danny had just killed her? Because somebody was looking for something and they were looking for it in her purse. Okay, that's one thing. Another thing is all we know is that Danny strangled her with the jump rope. The body was bruised on the back, the wrist, the thighs, badly beaten, blunt force trauma. Blunt force isn't a little kid punching you. That's like you getting beat to hell with an object. Okay,
Braised.
braised. Okay, maybe they used a curling iron. I don't know. But
Ooh.
no, like, so let me throw this out to you. Somebody else killed his aunt. And
Yeah.
Danny had to take the fall, or the guy was going to kill everyone
We
else.
talked about this last week because I think it might have been Karen.
I don't think it
Well,
was Karen.
I don't think. Could she inflict that much damage?
Oh, yeah, she could.
Oh,
Okay.
she's white girl
But
crazy.
the one thing that is missing off of this list is Danny supposedly strangled her
With a jump rope.
With a jump rope, and nowhere on there were there any marks on the neck or saying anything about her suffocating or being strangled. It was
That's
completely
interesting.
left off.
That's what I was
It
gonna
wasn't on
say.
there at all. And then what I think,
Attentive.
Yeah, it was. Yes.
my
I wrote that
prediction
down in bold.
for this is that somebody told Danny that if he didn't kill his aunt, he would kill Joe and Lacey.
But how gullible?
Oh.
He's a little kid.
But how gullible are the cops to believe like this report it's
But
contradicting?
I think maybe the
what
report
story
itself
was.
is showing that they don't even pay enough detail to spell things out right.
Exactly.
So he was kind of like a scapegoat. He was there when this happened.
That's what I'm
Case
saying.
closed. It doesn't have to be this ongoing investigation.
Okay, so going into this deeper, all right. So we were talking about how the report has things that are misspelled on it, like it's very half-assed. All right, so the necklace is taken into custody and then ends up with Regina. So obviously it was in an evidence locker and then somebody gave it to Regina for a gift. Okay, well, that means that somebody in the police department is in on this. Somebody who could have written the report.
Do we think it's Palmer? Is that her name?
Palmer. I thought
She
that at
seems
first.
a little newer, I think.
She just seemed to always, every time she would contradict everything, and that just made me think maybe
Well,
she's.
If you have any suggestions, why don't you send them to 4319 Dixie Canyon Avenue,
that's
Green
right.
Grove, New York.
We looked that up.
Moving on. So back to Danny and Lacey.
Oh yeah. Please.
Lacey basically tells Danny, "Get the hell out of my life." So Danny and Joe have this bright idea, like, "Hey, Lacey's doing this sobriety awareness day."
I thought you were gonna talk about the kiss.
Oh, you
I
wanna-
thought that's where you were going.
wanna
I got
talk
all
about that?
excited. I was
What
like,
kiss?
Danny.
She really wants
Okay,
to
no,
know.
okay, it wasn't a kiss. The attempt, the almost.
Wait, was this later on though, or was
no,
that?
it was before. It
Okay.
was before.
There
Yeah,
was such a moment.
There was some tension, and the music was building.
This was after the stage play, though.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought
Okay.
too. So I was
jumped
right.
the gun. I was just so excited about.
I'm just kidding. So Joe and Danny joined the sobriety awareness day, and the play sucks. And so Danny decides he's gonna rewrite it. So he rewrites it, and it's this whole emotional thing about forgiveness. And basically, he rewrites it to kind of put his apology to Lacey in the play.
Yes.
And at the same time, Joe also gets her breakout starring role.
Yeah,
So
she's like, I
she
want
really
the
came out of
lead.
her shell. She was good in the play, though. Gotta give it to her.
It's okay.
God, it's
Yeah,
almost
it
like these people are actors and actresses.
Oh my gosh.
Almost.
What were we watching?
Weird. But then you almost feel too when you're watching it like Lacey does feel like he's actually talking to her, and that's when she gets emotional.
I couldn't tell if it was like at one point they went off script and like they were trying to intend to look like that.
Oh, I don't.
That's
I
kind
don't,
of what I wrote down. Is it seemed like they were just kind of speaking like what they were feeling at the moment. Like Danny was asking for forgiveness, and he was basically having it go
which kind of
towards
makes him look
Lacey.
like a sociopath, actually.
Little
though,
bit,
because
yeah.
He's writing this manipulative play that's like, oh, I bet this is what she's thinking. I'm gonna
And then
give her
Archie
these
calls him
lines.
out.
That's what Archie
Yeah.
calls. See, he's smart.
He like knows he wrote the play. He knew he was gonna quit. He knew that he was going to have to take the other spot instead, and that's how he's gonna get closer to Lacey. But before we move on to the ending of the play or the encore of the play, I gotta say Phoebe's like my favorite character now in this show.
She's funny.
I was gonna say she's
Like,
so funny now.
She reminds me, like we did Don't Trust the Bee in Apartment
Yeah.
23. She reminds me of Kristen Ritter. The way she like does her facial expressions. With,
Oh,
like,
she's a little, yeah.
jagged movement.
And like a little manipulative. I think she's really crazy if you get to know her.
Love it. And it's like the way she plays her character. Like, did you just tell me to chill?
It's interesting too how the show is developing these not like
Other
forefront characters, and obviously they're all going to be involved at some point
Yeah.
with the plot, but it's interesting.
And also, before we move on, I really have to bring up this really important point that happens right at the end, is that you can go to iTunes and download and subscribe to our podcast here for the Twisted After Show here at AfterBuzz TV. We always like your feedback, and we want 5 stars.
5 stars.
stars.
And we'd like to say, if you think just because we laugh, we're not serious about the show, you're wrong. We like the show. We can also laugh. Whoever left that comment.
Wow, defensive
I know.
much? Anyway,
Somebody left a mean comment.
if you're watching this on YouTube, please go to iTunes and rate us and leave us a comment on iTunes too. We love those, and also comment on us on YouTube because we will comment back. Jason kind of scams those boards for little insults to Jason.
For
so
online
we can-
bullying.
Yeah, you know.
And
we
also,
can do a PSA
after you're on
about it.
iTunes, go to AfterBuzzTV.com because we've got a new website, and you can see pictures from the Twisted Show on there, and you can find all of our old YouTube links and iTunes links. And the new site is really revamped and awesome, and they took a lot of time on it. So we'd love your feedback. Check it out.
We took
AfterBuzzTV.com.
so much time on it. And if you have any favorite hosts, you can go to the host page and find them and stalk them electronically. And if you have any favorite shows, you can find any show you want alphabetically And you can see the long list of special guests we have and all of our little awesome press releases for them, too, if you want to find out little quotes that they've thrown out into the world for maybe school projects, or maybe if your chemistry partner is a total bitch and you need to grab something for that project.
Or maybe if you're Joe and somebody puts up, that is so mean, they put up this video of her at the end of the play with her taking shots at the party, which was kind of funny, actually. And it just said loser, which I thought was gotta kind of call ABC Family out on that one, because that was corny. Nobody says loser anymore.
They do in high school.
I was kind of confused at first, though. It was video from the very beginning of the play, right?
Yeah.
Mixed with her drinking, too.
Yeah.
Okay, because I thought,
So I think it maybe was footage.
It was footage of when she stood up in the auditorium.
Oh, when she stood up for Danny.
Oh, that's when it was. Okay.
Okay, yeah, because it was two different things, like, mashed together.
And it kept saying loser, flashing and stuff, and got a nice little dubstep remix, kind of like
She actually
tune the new
handled
style.
it really well, though.
Did we mention that it was Sarita who threw this video up?
That's
Dude.
why we want Sarita to be Danny's next victim.
Hashtag
nice.
Sarita must die.
Yes, we're rallying for that.
And then Danny can take her necklace too or something.
I think Sarita hates Joe so much, though, because I think she's afraid Lacey's going to go back to Joe, and then she's going to lose her as a best friend.
Does she? The way she treats Lacey, I'm like, where's the friendship there? I think Regina was the only thing holding them together.
Possibly.
Oh, you think
But Lacey went off on Sarita for putting the video up there, so obviously she's extremely mad at her now for doing that.
It's mean girl.
I know. Girls are mean.
Cat fight.
So
Why do you think we have Jason between you two?
Oh.
There's no cat fight here. Come on.
There's a cat fight between Stephen and I. So that happens, and so Danny and Archie have this moment at the end of the episode after this, and this is when Archie tells Danny, like, you're a freak, don't try to blend in because it's not going to work.
And Danny says Lacey will never be a friend. I realized that Lacey will never be a friend. That was harsh.
I know, which isn't true. I think he's just a little emotional from the whole thing because I think he thinks after the play she's going to come running back to him.
I think this is another move playing Archie. He's trying to manipulate Archie again.
Do you think he is?
Yeah, because, I mean, he's trying to get Archie on his side a little bit.
He joined the soccer team, so hey.
I wanted to know what he meant by that. Was it just the hurt, the pain from what she said to him, or what was it?
It was the pain that she walked away when he was trying to pull the moves on her.
I think he was
that scene though.
But I think she's walking away too, though, because she knows there's something there, and she doesn't want to be the girl that falls in love with the sociopath.
The director of this episode really knows how to bring like things from like I'm really angry to.
It was weird, wasn't it? It was
about to make out in like 10 seconds.
I love that.
I was like, come on, just kiss
So that kind of wraps up Danny's thing, and then Joe and Rico, we wrap them up back at the diner.
Well, do you want to finish up Danny with his mom too, or?
Yeah, we'll talk about that because I want to go through the whole investigation.
Okay.
With
good idea.
Chief Masterson. So Joe and Rico are at the diner, and because they've gone out and experienced all these things, they've kind of got details about what's going on, and they find out that Archie says he was staying in the night of Regina's party, and in fact he was out borrowing Scott's car. What do we think he was doing besides planning her death?
Sleeping with Sarita was at the party though.
Yeah.
I think he did step out maybe to go have a tryst. Yes, I said tryst with Regina, but I don't think he killed her.
But I think he's covering maybe something up that could lead to who killed her.
Maybe he knows the person who killed her, but I don't think he killed her.
Maybe he was with Karen.
Your obsession with Karen.
Karen, I know. Karen.
What? You know.
Yeah, I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens with that.
I don't think he did.
At least we kind of know now that Scott and Jana weren't the murderers because they were together that night.
That's true. Do you think it's going to be just one person that killed her, or do you think it's going to be like a group of people that were like collectively? Yeah.
I think it's a conspiracy, definitely. There's something with money, politicians,
Danny's
the police
father,
force, yeah,
the business, Danny's father, all that. And I think it's gonna be one person who killed her, but it's gonna be a lot of people covering it up.
Okay, so let's get into the chief's investigation. So we already talked about he interviewed Lacey.
Mr. Kyle Masterson.
And then he went to get the photo from Karen's house, and obviously that wasn't there.
So have you guys ever had a breakfast like this, though, with Joe and her dad, where like immediately in the morning, like you start fighting with your parents because you're just so sick of the crap that they're throwing at you?
If my mom ever talks to me before
yeah,
I
I
get
was
coffee,
like,
whenever
my
I'm home,
mom
I'm like,
was gone.
Mom, I didn't have coffee yet. Just pause. and
Just
then
hand in face.
after I have coffee, we're fine.
Okay.
My mom was already at work by that time I got up. It's okay. Don't cry for
I
me.
raised myself.
And then we hear Kyle says Tara always looked pissed off. And what this kind of like dawned on me is that everyone had a relationship with Tara. Like not like that, but like we think about Tara as just this woman who died, but at the same time, like no, she knew everyone. Like everyone knew her.
And we don't really know anything about her.
Exactly.
Except she never smiles in pictures.
Yeah.
But
obviously somebody's been haunting her, especially from the marks that we learned on that police report.
Yeah.
That was brutal.
Yeah.
When
Someone definitely was after her for.
when someone beats you like that, when you get murdered like that, that means it was some kind of relationship.
Yeah.
involved.
yeah, they
Something
didn't even
more
jump
there.
her. They jump roped her.
Well, we don't even think that's what happened though,
That's
right?
not what happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think that's what happened now.
Why?
Well, I think,
I think you're right though, because of the marks on her body. They're not where a jump rope would be.
but I still think he was the one who killed her.
Who, Danny?
Danny.
I don't
I
think
don't
he
know.
did.
So
No,
anymore.
there's just you saw the report.
No, I saw the report, but I also can't really vouch for the report because it's so iffy.
Yeah, but we talked about last week when Yvonne said in that interview too that Danny will do anything to protect the people that he loves. So I think even if that means taking the blame for somebody else,
Well, who else does Danny love except Joe and Lacey and his mom?
his mom,
I'm gonna
his
throw
dad,
someone out. I was gonna say
Maybe-
his dad. Yeah.
Dad.
maybe even his aunt. Honestly, it could have been something where he's trying to protect. She could have. I'm just throwing this out there, but she could have been in like a weird relationship with somebody, and that was dangerous, and he wanted her to look good. You know what I mean? Like maybe she wasn't as innocent as we think she is.
Or so to cover up to
Yeah.
save her.
His
image.
dad.
Her image, yeah.
His dad
I
was in
think-
trouble, and his dad used Danny to kill Tara and then faked his own death.
Do you?
Oh.
Honestly,
That
because there's so
is
many things.
pretty
I
good.
really don't think he killed her either.
Yeah, that, it's not adding up.
And I think even if we find out in the show, I don't think it's going to become like public knowledge to the other casts in the show, other characters in the show. You
I
know?
feel like that report is like too much information that they're just messing with us.
Do you think the
You think?
report is anything viable? Is it?
I think it's got to be something.
They wrote
They
all
just-
that information
Yeah,
down.
but
It
they
has
did
to
it
be
really
something.
fast.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
me
but
to pause it.
But it was so clear when you pause it on the screen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So obviously the way they did the camera was so you could focus in on it. and
It's
see
like
it.
they could have just put like, "Thank you for pausing your screen to read this."
Yeah.
Like, they could have just put something like that.
You have-
That would have been kind of
you have
awesome,
no
actually.
life.
Now get a life and return to the show.
So
Going.
Hashtag I pause the screen. There you go.
so anyway, the chief decides like, hey, I can't get this picture. Their house is always on the market. Let's get the pictures from the realtor and see if we can zoom in. And they get the disc of pictures, and they're all like the staged photos, which I think is smart. If you put your house on the market,
Yeah.
you don't want people looking at your personal pictures.
This kind of shows that Kyle likes to count his chickens before they hatch. In that,
Yeah.
oh, we might be able to get these photos from a realtor. Great, this is a huge lead. Let me be 4 hours home late and then tell my wife that I have a huge lead and this case is really heating up. You don't have anything, dude.
Yeah. What's,
Like he's going so hardcore on circumstantial evidence.
Well, so then this necklace comes back to haunt Karen and the chief. The chief finds it when he's going through Joe's old pictures when he finally helps his wife clean out the garage, which obviously this case we learned is straining their marriage.
Yes.
But
He has a lot of flashlights.
yeah, he does in that box. But he finds the picture of Joe as a kid, and the aunt's in the picture wearing that necklace. Dun dun dun.
And she
At a
and she
birthday
always looked
party.
pissed off. She
Yeah,
looked
she was
pissed
pissed
off.
off.
At a look, at a
And
birthday party.
It's like a birthday
She
party.
looked
that
so
was
mad.
that was around the time she was about to die, so obviously something's going on.
Maybe they staged her death. I'm just throwing stuff out there. Just
Honestly, at this point, it could be any possibility.
yeah.
But then we got to bring up from last week when Karen went in to visit the chief and he asked her about the necklace, and then she was kind of suspicious about it. And now tonight, when she finds out the picture's hidden, she calls Danny out about the necklace.
She's acting like she knows nothing about it. So maybe we should X her out as a suspect. Because it seems like she
Yeah,
really
but that's
is
why I think, because
clueless.
remember last week we were talking about, does she think maybe Danny had something to do with it? And I think she's a little conflicted because obviously she knows he was there that night, but this is kind of suspicious. And as far as we're concerned, that she knows her son's a killer
Well, we got
from the past.
they both like kind of reveal it to each other, like because Because when she confronts him about the photos, he confronts her about telling Kyle, and then she finally breaks down. Oh my God, I did it.
Which
for
honestly,
you."
why wouldn't she tell?
Yeah.
If it's going to protect your son from being accused of murder, why is he standing up for Lacey, and why is Lacey getting mad at him? Like, you're going to be convicted of murder, but I'm mad that you told people I spent the night at your house.
Yeah.
Come on, that's what.
But
that
then,
doesn't seem right.
but then he tells her, and it's like, well, the photos I saw the picture of the photo, and I knew how bad that would look, so I took the photos down. He confesses that to
I
her.
don't think that's true, though. I think something else is going on with that necklace.
Oh, well, yeah.
He starts looking really crazy
Yeah.
at the end,
He
doesn't
was, yes.
They kind of
His
edit it.
eyes, yeah.
They edit it to make you always wonder if he really is like
Yes.
a sociopathic killer.
Yeah.
So this is another one of those role reversals from the beginning of the season. Because in the first 2 episodes, I was like, Karen is like controlling Danny. Like she's kind of like that figure that's like kind of manipulating him a bit. And then this just turned it around. Like Danny is the one who actually puts her in her place, and he's like kind of the man in her house, using her how he wants to use her.
That's kind
Like
of,
He was a little mean.
It reminded me of Hemlock Grove. Like, not to shout out Marissa in the booth today because she hosted Hemlock Grove. We just finished
Hey,
that
Marissa.
with the executive producers doing interviews. Really cool. But no, like you'll see a role reversal between 2 characters in that, where one becomes above the other one while the other one was always in control. And this kind of seems the same way. She's always in control,
Well,
but
I
he's
think
now in
they
control.
both have so many secrets on each other that it's like I think they're gonna do this back and forth a lot because they both know stuff that we haven't been revealed to yet, obviously.
Yeah.
And so I think they're gonna always kind of hold things over each other, but neither of them's gonna rat the other out because A, they're family, and B, they're both in on it.
I mean, Karen's not really acting like the adult or the
No.
mother in the situation. How
But I don't think she acts like that in any situation.
Yeah,
Even the way she goes about like helping him in school, she lets the principal brush her hair. You know.
She's still stuck in high school herself.
Yeah.
I don't want to see that creepy principal anymore.
No,
throughout
thank goodness
these.
we didn't see him
No.
tonight.
We haven't seen. Did we see him last episode?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We did, okay,
That was
yeah.
with the
The
hairbrush.
Oh, that was.
That was
oh
the
wow,
hairbrush.
that was last
There's
episode.
only been 3 episodes. I feel
I
like we've
know.
already
I know.
learned so much.
Just throwing random information out there you guys might have missed. I don't know. So in the play when they were kids, Danny was the sun, Lacey was a raindrop, and Joe was a leaf.
What is your point?
I know. Thank you for that.
Well, I mean, there
That's-
could be deeper meaning behind it. I mean, think of it like what the characters are. I mean,
I bet.
You know, to piggyback off that, I loved during the play when they all 3 stood together.
I know because it was like they were
Nice, yeah.
reunited.
Powerful.
I think by season 2 they're gonna be back together.
He's already jumping
Yeah.
the gun.
I'm just
Season
saying.
two.
Because that's
In
gonna
a few
take this whole.
episodes.
You think?
Yeah.
I think
there's
they're gonna
be
get
too
back
much
Give it
together.
drama.
like 3 more.
they're
3
going to
more?
get back together, and then something is going to rip them apart.
Well,
can see
obviously,
that.
it's a television
He's
show.
going to kill his other
They have
aunt.
to keep it going.
Yeah.
He's going to kill his other aunt, and then things are just going to
Oh.
get crazy.
He's gonna kill Joe's dad. Anyway, we should probably get into some news
have
and
we-
gossip before we get way off topic.
Have we covered everything?
Yeah, we have.
Okay.
Yes.
Jeez.
AfterBuzz TV News.
Okay, our news and gossip for today. So, Christopher Cousins from Breaking Bad. Any of y'all watched it?
Yes.
Breaking Bad, so y'all.
Best
I'm sorry,
show
I
ever.
haven't seen Breaking Bad. I'm sorry.
It's okay, I haven't either.
He's gonna be stepping in, guest starring as Mayor Rollins. So,
Okay.
who knows? He might be the killer.
Ooh.
Ooh.
I think maybe it'll show too that the government is all messed up and twisted.
Do it. Do it, Jason.
Twisted.
Twisted.
God, at least that's not annoying. When is he coming in?
They said some future episodes, so
Okay.
they're not really clear on the date yet, but they don't want to just give it away to all the public. So, we should be looking forward to that.
That'll be interesting. I think that's all the news and gossip we have today, right?
Yes.
Let's
Oh,
get into predictions.
Oh, did
Did you have something?
I didn't have any news and gossip. I just thought it was funny how they brought back the nerd pet, Mr. Doug.
Oh yeah.
Oh, for a
They,
small.
they
Yeah.
brought back Doug, and he didn't want to be left alone with Danny.
No, that wasn't the
That
nerd.
wasn't the
pet.
nerd pet, was
Wait.
It was.
Yeah, that
It
was
was?
the
Okay,
nerd pet.
that was
Doug.
him.
He looked different.
He cut his
He looked
hair.
worse.
He cut his hair.
Doug got
like
a
a
second
mullet.
episode. Maybe we'll see Doug
I
for a
know.
third episode.
Hope
All right,
so.
predictions.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
I'll go. I think that Joe's parents are gonna separate,
Oh.
and this whole murdering case is gonna kind of tear up the whole family because I think Joe's mom's gonna take her daughter's side, and it's gonna kind of be like Joe's dad versus the mom and the daughter.
It's sad. That broke my heart.
I know,
I think. I know, you just brought the mood down. I think that Danny and Lacey are definitely going to hook up. Either the next episode or some future episodes, they're going to hook up.
I agree.
Okay, I don't think in the next episode or even the one after that, but maybe in a few more episodes, I think that Danny's dad is going to kind of come back and have something to do with the murder. Either it was him that murdered his sister or somebody around him in his circle. I think somebody, probably the dad, had something to do with it because it's just because of the bruises and all the stuff that we saw on the report. It was a little too extreme
Interesting.
for Danny.
Steven?
I think Doug the nerd pet killed the aunt. No, I'm just kidding. I think that somebody else was the. If Danny didn't kill his aunt, somebody else was there coercing Danny into doing it, saying that he would kill Lacey and Joe if he didn't or something like that. The police are covering it up because it was a cop who did it. I think it was a cop. I think Danny's dad's somehow involved. Probably somebody's trying to protect him, put him into fake his own death or anything like that. And I think that we might see Kyle Masterson die this season.
What is your obsession with killing him?
No, the cop.
You
I
think?
know.
I don't think he's going to die.
I wasn't the one who
No.
said it before, but thinking about it, I think that
Who said that he was going to die?
somebody did.
I don't know.
Oh, I
we
don't
just
know.
want
You.
Sarita.
Yeah, we just want Sarita dead.
Just Sarita.
Anyways, we'll continue this conversation elsewhere.
You guys suck.
And you guys can follow us on all the good social media sites. Where can they find you?
I am on Twitter at Heather Joy Smith.
I'm on just Lina Green. I'm on Twitter at just Lina Green.
You can find me here at AfterBuzz TV for the Graceland and Dexter this Sunday. You can follow me on Twitter at Stephen Lemieux, which is StephenLemieux. And you can find my Vine. Oh, wait, nobody uses that anymore.
I have Vine.
I've never
You can
posted.
find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Vine at Jason Ikeler. And you can find us back in the studio next week.
Yeah!
Woo!
Twisted!
From Bing.com, executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.